Dot. Right then, let's take you through the starting grid. That is going to be, that is Christian Segerson that is trying to get off the line, and also Oliver Warner. But here's your starting grid for the Minimax final here at Karting Genk. As we've got another spinner coming out of turn number 2. It's Jacob Ashcroft on pole position, Albert Friend alongside on the front row, Rory Armstrong, Cole Denham, Felipe Reyes, Jakub Kubera, Nikita Lubimov, Lucas Dorder, Kai Clark, Max Endicott rounding out the top 10. Adrian Stions, Maxim Bobrishov, Denny Babacek, Angelina Simons Torres, Alexander Van Meeuwen, Bran van der Weyken, Vic van Kampenhout, Ryan Rivers, Isaac Barker, Christian Segerson will start 20th. And completing the 31-strong grid will be Patrikas Jokius. Well, we'll only have 30 starters, as Ryan Gandor will not be taking the start. It'll be Jokius from Lithuania, Jeff Verbeek, Vitek Kubera, Sigurd Stubrup Fredriksson, Andreas Jallerup, Charles Kitely, Len Abbas, Unto Olavi Lakonen, Kieran Stewart, and Oliver Warner. So let's go back to 2018 as they're going to go onto their formation.
Yeah.
What were your key thought processes before the start?
Well, I think first of all, we need to look at the pace, and obviously after the first round, we managed to put in a very strong pace also. Mm-hmm. So after pre-final and final, we had a good feeling for the second round. I can actually not remember. Was it in Austria? I cannot remember.
I think it was in Austria. Yeah.
So, but yeah, managed to be prepared, and of course this situation will also escalate after. We won. I remember we won the pre-final and the final, so we managed to put in a good pace. Yeah.
Final question before we let them go racing.
Yeah.
Do you believe in luck? Because Alan McNish clearly does not.
No, I can imagine. Sometimes yes, sometimes no. But I think in motor racing, or generally, you just need luck. It will arrive sometimes.
Yes, indeed. The great Alan McNish always felt that preparation rather than luck was key to success, and that took him to 3 Le Mans victories and also a World Endurance title. Now on the front row, it is an all-British affair. It's a top 4 British lockout. Ashcroft, Friend, Armstrong and Denham, and then a further 26 drivers behind. Red lights are on the gantry. 11 minutes on the timer plus an additional lap. They now make their way out of the final corner. They split. Into the tram lines they go. Are we ready? Are we steady? The Mini-Max final is underway, and a good start from the pole sitter. Albert Friend has dropped all the way out towards the bottom of the top 10. The outside line not paying dividends for some of the drivers. They all make their way through. Everyone still has made their way through the opening 3 to 4 corners. 2, 3 wide at one point. 4 wide coming out of turn number 4. Incredible bravery from these young drivers, and still going on to the back straightaway, 2, 3 wide. At that moment, Martin, that was a very, very calm and composed opening half of the lap from the drivers.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, like I said before, look at the pace, look at the drivers are knowing what they are doing. So it's just incredible to watch these young kids race.
So Jacob Ashcroft has already started sprinting away from the rest of the opposition. Albert Friend has got to mount a counter-offensive to make his way back up the order. He's outside of the top 10, so Ashcroft will lead the field coming out of the opening, after the opening lap. There is Kai Clark ahead of Felipe Reyes. That is the battle for 4th position. Ashcroft leads, and that lead is nearly 3/4 of a second after the opening lap. Cole Denham, Rory Armstrong, Kai Clark, Felipe Reyes, Jakub Kubera, Alexander Van Meeuwen, who had trials and tribulations in the pre-final earlier on, up to 7th. Albert Friend down to 8th. Nikita Lubimov, Adrian Stions rounding out the top 10. As now a good move up the inside. That was on Kai Clark by Felipe Reyes. And Jakub Kubera not only getting the slipstream out of turn 6, but also, Martin, down the Europolon, you can also, even in karting, get that side draft assistance.
Definitely. It was a good maneuver he made there. And he pulled actually a bit of a gap out of it also. So great move from this young guy.
So the train is starting to expand. It's forget the Arno Trulli train. It's the Felipe Reyes train. 9 minutes, 5 seconds plus an additional lap. Rory Armstrong now gunning for 2nd position as he closes on to the back bumper of Cole Denham. A little bit further behind, there are some scraps happening. Max Endicott has just got past the 171 of Latvia's Adrian Steons across the line. And he goes up into 10th position, but the Latvian counter-attacks. And then there's also somebody else going through. That is
We had a change to 4th position, I think.
Yeah, I think we have. Well spotted there, Martin. It's not quite yet, because Rory Armstrong is still behind Cole Denham. But still some great battles up and down the order. Oliver Warner, an early casualty as Max Endicott fires it up the inside. That was on the 131. That was on Maxim Bobrishov. And there goes the 197 of Belgium's Lucas Stordeur. 8 minutes and a quarter still to go. Oh, bit of a mount on the curves from the youngster from the Czech Republic, Denny Babacek. Both he and his sister Petra are competing here this weekend. Charles Kitely, however, is looking to get into the top 15. But the battle for second position very clearly on here, Martin, because Rory Armstrong's got some great speed.
Everything can happen right now, and definitely if these two young guys can get it figured out who's going to be in front, they will try to catch the leader, definitely.
But with the pace that Ashcroft has shown all the way through this weekend, with having nearly a 9/10 of a second advantage after 3 racing laps, I do notice that Rory Armstrong's front bumper is a little bit indented, but it may not have been through his own fault. But still,
down the back straight is also a good battle going on now.
Yeah, there is a little bit of a lunge going into turn number 7, and I think that might. I'm just trying to see who that is. That is Felipe Reyes once again. He's just losing positions and getting him straight back. That will probably be for around. That is for 6th position. Is now Albert Friend who's got ahead of steam. He's closing in on that is Kubera, Jakub Kubera, and that's the battle for what is P4 on the road. Felipe Reyes has got Estonia's Nikita Lubimov. Then they've got Kai Clark. There's Adrian Steons, followed by Max Endicott. Some great racing here as Albert Friend looks to go side by side with Jakub Kubera, and he sort of like squeezes the Czech Republic driver. Oh, and a big moment there for Felipe Reyes up into the air. Luckily enough, the car ends up bouncing on all 4 wheels on the right way, and I'm not so surprised that Felipe Reyes, I think his race is done there, Martin. That was a big hit.
What a shame, what a shame. He drove a phenomenal race until now. I mean, maybe a little mistake trying to close in on the outside, but that's racing, yeah.
That does happen, such is life. And in karting, but the battle for second position, there has been a change, I think, because we now have Ashcroft still leading. His advantage is 1.1 seconds after 4 laps. Now in second position, well, it is still Cole Denham. Rory Armstrong trying every play in the book to get past him for second position. And then behind them, Albert Friend stays in 4th. It's going to be a tough one for him to try and reach the podium, but to send up the inside of Cole Denham means Rory Armstrong takes second. That's a great place to overtake, especially with the slipstream.
And they didn't lose too much time on it. So maybe it's a good way to swap to see if maybe Denholm would be the man to catch the leader.
Yeah, exactly. So Cole Denham, if he gets the opportunity, well, it's going to be the fact that Rory Armstrong has shown great pace, caught a puncture, a valve, and then it punctured one of the tyres, and he was 14th and defending everybody, backing everybody up.
Yeah, now we have a guy who's maybe a lap down.
Oh, that's the first time I've seen the blue flags out today or this weekend. Max Endicott, in the meantime, is in 6th position. And he is battling away with Nikita. And that is one driver pulling into the pit lane. That is going to be a Birel ART chassis. That is probably going to be Unto Olavi Lakonen. Felipe Reyes will be a confirmed retirement. So, fastest lap of the race, Albert Friend. And he's currently 4th. He's 2.1 seconds behind the battle in front for P2. Charles Kitely has made his way all the way up to 12th position, and Kitely started 26th. And that's the thing, you can have a difficult heat stay, but you can come back swinging in the final, can't you?
Yeah, I think if you show like good pace, it will be possible. But I must admit, like top 5 is nearly clear if not much is going on, because Ashcroft is just doing, you know, incredible pace.
Yeah.
And I think those 2 guys behind are just competing for the last 2 steps on the podium.
Who is going to be on those last 2 steps of the podium? Well, after this race, we've got still another 3 races to decide, because Martin will be out for the final race of the weekend. after what was a difficult final few minutes before we had the red flag out. But Charles Kitely now battling away with Kai Clark. That is for 11th. So could Charles Kitely, by the end of this race, possibly get a top 10? I think it is doable. But Adrien Tions has just re-overtaken Max Endicott for P6. We've got Denny Babacek now out of the top 15, and the 112 has just been given a time penalty of 5 seconds. That's Nikita Lubimov. 5-second time penalty. I think that might have been the incident involving Felipe Reyes for causing a collision and promptly ending the young Dutchman's race. But still, no matter where you look, Martin, there are still great battles up and down the order.
Definitely.
I mean, like the train here with Adrien Tions, there's Max Endicott, you've got Maxime Bobrishov in that mix. They're just coming through turn 10 as we speak. You've got Lucas Lauder, Kai Clark, Charles Kitely. But still, this stalemate between Armstrong and Denon for the runner-up spot in the final continues onward. They were separated by just 72 thousandths at the end of 8 laps of racing. We've got 2 minutes and 45 still to go, plus an additional lap. There's going to be more overtaking going through into turn number 2.
Bit of a
and
push
Max
there.
Endicott runs very, very wide and ends up slotting in behind Charles Kitely. And that would be, effectively, Charles Kitely now up in the top 10, having started 26th. More changes for position. Lucas Tordo gets passed by Maxim Bobrishov going through into turn number 6. So Max Endicott will have to start fighting back again. And that can happen in this kind of racing where it's close pack, it's close quarter. You make a mistake, you can lose not just one position, but you can lose at least 5 or 6, especially as we saw with Max Endicott going through turn 2.
Yeah, and especially when you have a train on maybe, let's say, just 8 carts, or it's not much that would make the difference.
So, just under 2 minutes remaining. Jacob Ashcroft has a clear lead, 2.2 seconds as we go on to lap number 10. And he's also got the fastest lap in his pocket, a 59.636 second lap time. Probably about 3 laps ago. And just the pace that he's been showing has just been absolutely immense.
It's amazing. I think it's so nice to see being so addicted to this that he has everything under control out in front and doesn't look back one time.
Indeed, he was the Euro Winter Cup champion in Campillos. He also was the event winner for the B&L Karting Series kickoff, so booking his place on both championships this year. And he's looking to double up by winning after the B&L Karting Series round 1, which took place here last weekend. But still a stalemate between second and third. Albert Friend is trying to motor on. He's just put in his fastest lap of the race a couple of laps ago. 59.834 was his best lap. And the gap is starting to come down, but it's just 2 seconds. Rory Armstrong having to go a little bit wide through the exit of turn 2 to defend against Cole Denham. So that is very, very potent, that battle, as we go into the final 40 seconds. But then a little bit further back, Charles Kitely has now ended up at the front of the train that Maxim Bobrishov was leading. Kitely has had an absolute stormer, and he's probably going to be close to, I would say, either a top 6 or a top 5 finish if he plays his cards right. Yeah, I make it that he's 7th. I make it that he's probably going to be, he's going to be 7th or 8th. Because I see Kai Clark in 7th. Vic Van Kampenhout was leading that train. So 18 positions gained by Charles Kitely. Leader now goes onto the final lap. What a drive it's been for Jacob Ashcroft. He won 2 of the 3 heats yesterday, won the pre-final, and no one has touched him.
He is flying. He's the winner, I would say.
Definitely. 100% agree with you there, Mr. Henkel Mortensen. But we are on the final lap. Second and third still to be very much decided. Cole Denham does not look to the inside of turn number 6, but might use the slipstream if he gets close enough to the back bumper of the 166, the youngster from County Down in Northern Ireland, Rory Armstrong, holding on for that second position last year for the 166, moved to Strawberry Racing. Now has shown great improvement over the last 12 months and showcases that he is one that is going to be at the sharp end of the grid in Minimax in Europe this season. But Jacob Ashcroft, unpassable, unchallenged, untouchable. He comes out of the final corner, and it's a win for the youngster from Western Supermare. Jacob Ashcroft not only wins the weekend event, but if it is the case, he will be booking his place to the International Trophy at Le Mans this year. And celebrations, that's what I love about the Minimax
that's great
class.
to see.
Adrien
That is really
Sions
great to see.
celebrating. Charles Kitely, 26 at the start, 8th position. Bowed. Well, you know what? I doff my cap to Charles Kitely right there. But the finishing results provisionally are as follows. Jacob Ashcroft wins once again here at Karting Genk by 2.6 seconds. Rory Armstrong in second. Cole Denham and Albert Friend round out the top 4, all representing the United Kingdom. The Czech Republic was the next nation represented, courtesy of Jakub Kubera. Adrien Tions Jubilant was the Latvian in 6th place ahead of Kai Clark. Charles Kitely, Maxim Bobrishov, Max Endicott, Patrikas Jokius, Ryan Rivers, Lucas Todder, Vic Van Kampenhout and Isaac Barker rounding out the top 15. Christian Segerson made up 4 places to finish in 16th, ahead of Denny Babacek, Ziggy Stubbert Fredriksson, Len Abbas, Angelina Simons Torres, Kieran Stewart, Bran van der Beek and Nikita Lubimov, Vitek Kubera. And that has changed because Nikita Lubimov has just been demoted to 25th after the 5-second time penalty has been applied. So Alexander Van Meeuwen, 24th, Lubimov, 25th, Jeff Verbeek and Andreas Keller round out the top 27, all finishing the race. Unto Olavi Lakonen and Felipe Reyes out on lap 4 and Oliver Warner out before the completion of the first lap. Martin Henkel-Mortensen, good luck for the final. Thanks for joining me in the commentary box.
Thank you for having me, it was great.
One final down, 4 more to go, as the Minimax field would be all smiles before the business of shutting the visors down and getting ready to go into battle for one final time. Many of the drivers in the mix for the potential victory, but Jacob Ashcroft was the one who had the target on his back. A couple of problems on the starting grid with the likes of Christian Segerson and a few others, but we got underway at the first time of asking as the lights went out and Ashcroft led the field into the opening 2 corners. With such calm and composed driving skills, all of the 30 drivers taking to the start would make their way through, but Oliver Warner would be the first casualty, the youngster from Argentine Motorsport, out after the opening lap. Felipe Reyes would make his way up through the field, passing the likes of Jakub Kubera and Kai Clark. Max Endicott was also looking rather feisty out there, passing the likes of Maxim Bobrishov round the outside and even battling with Latvia's Adrien Tions. Albert Friend would make his way up to as high as 4th, having had a difficult start. And there was the moment where Nikita Lubimov collided with Felipe Reyes, with the young Dutchman up into the air, bouncing back down onto terra firma, spinning the wheels, and his race was done. Rory Armstrong, in the meantime, was showcasing the speed that he's had all over the last 2 weeks of competition, both at the B&L and the Euro Trophy. A moment here saw Lucas Todder having Maxim Bobrishov up the inside, along with Kai Clark. But Jacob Ashcroft wins the opening round of the championship in fine style by a comfortable margin of 2.6 seconds.